Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Thank you BetterHelp for sponsoring today's video. Lately, you guys have been absolutely loving the girl chats, and I want to thank you guys from the bottom of my heart because I put a lot of effort into these, and I really think about what I want to speak about, and I want to speak from the heart always. I am so excited for today's topic because it's all about being too much, being the black sheep. This is for all of my different girlies and gents. This is for the people who have been told to dim their lights their whole life and have been the outcast. It can get really exhausting, and you can feel like you were born into the wrong family or friend group or city, town, whatever. Like, there are certain things that happen along our lives that make us feel like so odd in our own skin. There is so much beauty in your uniqueness, and I want to help you guys navigate the differences that you have from others and how to really use it and embrace it. The more you dim your light, the more you remove your colors, the less you'll be able to really see yourself propel forward. I really do believe that it's a scare tactic that people use to prevent you from really stepping into being your best self. Because when I think about all of my favorite creators, celebrities, authors, or just anybody that's a motivation and inspiration to me, I think about how they're very different, how they stand out from the average person. They are maybe more beautiful or more intelligent or a little quirky, a little different, a little funny. And this is something that really inspires me. And I know that it inspires so many other people as well, because these people would not be the people they are if they were not that way. And what's so fascinating about life is we can go through the motions of being a sister or being a colleague or being a student, wherever we are in life, and be shunned and disrespected from being the things that people so badly want to become. And it kind of reminds me of all of like the Marvel movies or like the X-Men movies, where you see all of these superhumans and we watch it and we're in awe, right? Like, I absolutely love Mystique and X-Men and all of these other superhumans, and how they have to almost dim their light and pander to people's perceptions of what a human should be in order to be able to live a fulfilling life, because if they don't, they get jailed or killed or misunderstood. And it's very interesting to me how that is very similar to real life. A lot of people, their perception of you is really just a projection of their own insecurities. And when people see in you something that they do not possess, or something that they do possess but do not want to actually act on, they can be either threatened or weirded out by it because they just don't know how to tap into their magical powers. And it's not for you to really care about, it's for you to understand so that you can use your magic for good and not take it away from yourself and be someone that is a shell of yourself. It is time for you guys to truly embrace your gifts and rise from the ashes and no longer shrink yourself to make yourself digestible to those who can't handle it. If you like these types of girl chats, make sure you guys give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe down below, and follow me on Instagram. All right, guys, let's get into today's topic. So I'm excited to be talking to you guys about my favorite sponsor, which is BetterHelp. I am such an advocate for therapy for literally anyone. Let's talk a little bit about BetterHelp and why I think you guys should sign up for it today. As a person who actually has worked with them and has had a therapist with them, I am such an advocate for them. So BetterHelp is going to connect you with a licensed therapist who is trained to listen to you and give you unbiased advice. First, you're going to go to the site. You guys are going to use my link, which is betterhelp.com/Hailey, and you guys are going to click on it so that you guys can answer a few questions that they have for you in order for them to better get to know your schedule, a little bit about you, so they can match you with the therapist that is best for you. You can literally access therapy all from your phone or computer, so you can do it via phone call, messaging, you can even do video chat. They have so many different options for you to make you feel comfortable to actually access this therapy session. What's really wonderful is you will be matched with a therapist usually within 48 hours if you start today and answer some of those questions. So you guys are going to be able to access therapy pretty quickly, which is not a common thing to access so soon from other services. Let BetterHelp connect you to having a therapist today, all from the comfort of your own home. Again, use my link, betterhelp.com/Hailey. Please, guys, I am such a believer in getting a hold of your feelings, being able to channel them properly, and having a better way of living by being able to be authentic and share the way that makes you feel the best. So thank you again to them for sponsoring today's video. And now let's get into the rest of today's topic. Okay, a little bit about me, because I feel like the best way to really touch on this subject is to kind of discuss my own weirdness and how I knew I was the black sheep. So growing up, I was either extremely liked or extremely disliked. There was really no gray area. And it was people who either understood and gravitated towards my personality, or people who just did not understand it at all. My mouth, my personality, my exuberant aura would really make people feel uncomfortable. And I was always the kid that was told, kids do not speak, you're a little bit too much, you need to relax. And I was always being met with this constant, like, this, right? Like, just be quiet, Hailey. And it would frustrate me, because I'm like, why am I not allowed to express myself freely? Like, I guess I always would chalk it up to being a child, but when I became an adult, it still was a part of my life. And I'm thinking, what is going on? And even though it was happening within my own house, it was also happening outside of the home. There would be a lot of people that would misunderstand me, like friends, parents, or just people that I would come across in my life. And I really dead ass thought that it was me. I was so embarrassed, ashamed, and uncomfortable in my own skin that people would have a perception of me that was incorrect, or they would just not like me, or find that I was just too much and wanted too much. It made me almost dim my light completely, but I just kept coming back to center. I think what really allowed me to fully be myself was seeing people that reminded me of myself online and on the TV. I am such a big TV and internet person for the simple fact that it allowed me to feel like I had a safe space to be myself. I know a lot of people like to shame social media or TV watching and all of that, but it actually helped me gain some self-esteem in my younger years. And I really owe it to all of my inspirations and heroes and girls I looked up to growing up that helped me really come into acceptance of who I was. That I would see TV shows like The Amanda Show, where she was funny and bubbly and loud and fun, and people would laugh, people would take to her personality. I'm thinking, that exact behavior that I would possess in my own life would be laughed at, or not in a good way, but people would try to make me feel bad about it or tell me that I'm doing too much. And how is it that I'm doing the same thing as that person, but it's not being received the same way? And the truth was, it was because that was not my audience. I needed to understand that it had nothing to do with me and everything to do with everyone else. A lot of people are going to be uncomfortable in your presence, and you need to accept that. So the first thing that I really want to touch on is that understand that your differences are what makes you special. Now, I really think that there is a healthy way to balance self-acceptance and also reading a room. I think that if you are obnoxious and really just a nuisance to society, you should probably tone it down a bit. But self-awareness is key, understanding when and where to do certain things and having, the proper know-how to be able to read a room and not do certain things in certain environments. But overall, if you really are just a bubbly, fun, flirty, exciting person and somebody is demonizing you for being a harmless, fun human being, they are projecting their own insecurities onto you. A lot of people feel like they're not able to be their authentic selves around their parents or even their friends or their partners because they're afraid it's going to get met with uncomfortable disrespect or sarcastic comments or passive aggressiveness. And although that is the reality of a lot of black sheep, we're always being told that we are not the people that they want us to be. We have to understand that our differences makes us special. They are so focused and fixated on what you're doing, you have to almost be able to shift your mindset and say, I am not the problem, they are just obsessed. I know that sounds a little bit cocky and arrogant, but it's true, because why do they care? A lot of people are wallflowers. I had a conversation with my dad recently about my dating life and how I was experiencing some pushback in some areas and how I had dated a guy who said that I was too much and that he was looking for a woman that was a little bit more submissive and feminine and doesn't talk as much. And I was explaining this to my dad because I think a part of me felt uncomfortable that a man that I was interested in was saying that to me. And my dad looked at me and he goes, don't listen to him. What does he want, a fucking wallflower? And it made me laugh because the truth is a lot of people do want wallflowers. And that's not to say that we are making fun of people who are wallflowers, who are, shy and timid and submissive and listen and don't really have much of a personality. We're not demonizing people like that. We just are not that. And we need to go where we are celebrated and not tolerated. We need to go to places where people love that we can move a room and people love our bubbly personalities and our comedic nature, and that is a part of our personality. You need to just be able to understand that that's what makes you special. A lot of your favorite people, your favorite celebrities, your favorite motivational speakers, hell, even your favorite pastors, all have something in common, and it's that they are special, they are different, they have the gifts that other people used to make fun of them for. They were loud, they had a lot to say, they had opinions, they had feelings, emotions, they had passion. And when you're passionate, it can get met with a lot of vitriol and a lot of uncomfortable people, because a lot of people don't know how to tap into their gifts. They don't know how to express themselves freely. They want to be like everyone else because they think that that's going to get them seen more. But us, we don't care about being seen. We're already seen just purely existing. Being that we're different, being that we're the black sheep, we naturally make a room different. When we walk into it, people look, people stop, people stare. And there is a blessing and curse that happens when you're the black sheep, because you do attract a lot of people. You do attract a lot of people who want to be you, who want to be your friend, who want to get to know you, who want to pick your brain. But then on the other end of the stick, you're going to meet people who are going to shame you, make you feel like you have to not like yourself, make you feel like you have to dim your light. And you can't listen to that latter end of the stick, because that's what's going to make you not yourself. Being too much helps you get paid and helps you stand out. Hell, me being too much has landed me the job of my dreams. I know I talk about YouTube a lot, but guys, it changed my life, okay? I went from being someone who felt like a woman who had so many plans and so many dreams, and they were all inside, but they were trapped in a body that was mechanically being like everyone else. Once I started to freely express myself and share my gifts and be myself and be too much, I found my people. That's not to say that everybody who watches my channel enjoys me. I'm happy that people can make the decision of whether they do or do not enjoy me. And guys, I was made for this job, because as someone who was the black sheep, who was isolated, being in front of a camera, this is nothing to me. It was meant for me. It was literally my God-given thing. God handed me this career and said, I now will bless you. Be yourself, Hailey, be yourself. And I feel so proud of that. I now can freely express myself, and the people who understand me and like me gravitate towards me. Even though I might not be for everyone, the people I am for, I'm grateful that they get to experience me and that I get to experience them, because I am my authentic self. I'm not dimming my light, and we can learn from each other and we can start gravitating towards each other. So that's beautiful. The next thing that I want to kind of get into is breaking the cycle. Learn to not bully those who are different. A lot of the times, people who were bullied become the bully. So if you find yourself being very judgmental in your adult years, and you find yourself taking a long time to really enjoy a person, or you're nitpicky, it could be because you were nitpicked your entire life. A lot of women who hate mean girls are actually the mean girls that they hate so much. They embody everything that it means to be a mean girl and then get mad when people are mean to them. What I've learned in my life is to cut the cancer out, cut that cycle off where I can, which essentially means I will no longer bully who's different. I will no longer judge who is different, because I'm different, and I would never want that to be something that's happening to me. So although I might not agree with everything people do, or I might not always take to it, that doesn't mean that I'm going to overly judge it or care. And that is something that I think is important for you to take with you in this part of your life. You will feel like you're able to accept yourself more for being too much when you let people be too much as well. Break that cycle of abuse so you can be a positive force on your children. When I started thinking about how I can truly accept myself for who I am, I thought about my future children. I thought about having daughters and even a son. Would I want my kids to not be able to express themselves in front of me? Would I want my kids to hide versions of themselves from me? And the answer is no. I would never want something like that. So how can I be someone who wants my kids to freely express themselves if I am hiding myself, if I am judging myself, if I am judging others for being themselves? So the best way to be too much is to be too much and love it, and let people in your life also be too much. And that is something that I thought about, kind of really unlearning a lot of patterns and doing my shadow work, that there's a time and a place, there's a respect that I need to hold myself to, there's a respect that I should give others, there's a decorum that I should follow. But if I'm doing all of those things, I still want to be me at the end of the day. And I think it also just helps you get closer and aligned with people who are meant to be in your life, friends, family, partners, anybody that you're supposed to be with, you will be able to be with if you are truly authentically yourself. So step outside of the story created by your family, your peers, and enemies. You no longer are a part of that. Heal your wounds that are surrounded by this story. If you allow yourself to constantly be in this story of, I'm the sheep, I'm never liked, I am never gonna receive, I'm not abundant, nobody likes me, that's gonna be your story. You are going to manifest nothing but negativity for your life. You need to step out of that story. It is no longer yours. It doesn't belong to you. These are not beliefs that you have. These are beliefs that other people have because of their own insecurities and projections. You need to step out of that and say, you know what? I deserve better. I'm going to go towards what feels good to me. I am going to be a part of people's lives who feel like home, who feel like me, who allow me to freely express. I promise you, you will not have to have a life of misery and guilt and shame if you actually start living for you and stop being someone who's a victim to your reality and change your reality. You have the power to do that. The next thing I want to discuss is the art of not giving a fuck. I really need you to start not giving. Okay, like we gotta stop. Liberate yourself and unlearn healthy patterns of shrinking yourself. When you have been told your whole life that you're too much, that you're the black sheep, that you're different, that who you are is not important, that is again the story that you've been telling yourself. You need to unlearn those unhealthy thoughts and patterns so that you can fully be yourself. Shrinking yourself will only keep you broke, ugly, and not tapping into your full potential. It is time for you to move out of that city. Stop being around those people. Date people who make you feel important and special. You know, when I was younger, I wanted to date a certain type of person, right? I would date guys who I wanted to be with, not realizing that those people were no good for me, that those people did not allow me to be myself. I would change a lot. I was quite a shapeshifter when I was in high school, and this was prior to my long-term relationship, but I would always want to be someone that that person liked. And when little parts of me would show, when parts of me would come out, it was not accepted, and how hurtful and painful that really felt. It was something that I hated. I hated that I wasn't accepted for who I was. So it naturally made me shrink myself and not be myself until I realized that I was just not around the right people, and that everything that I desire, whether it's a man with honor, integrity, respect, who's hardworking, who will love me down, that is possible for me to have while also still being myself. I never settled for less again. I actually got to experience the love that I deserved, not once, but twice. And it was a really beautiful thing for my own story and for my own self-esteem. And I know that people say, you know, self-esteem is about self, and I do wholeheartedly believe that. But there are people that come into our lives that allow us to believe the things that we thought were possible, but we didn't really know for sure that they were important, and that they were able to come true. And I know that people that were brought into my life were meant to be there to show me that. A lot of the times, people are holding a mirror up to you and showing you, you're beautiful, you're special, you matter. And it just takes that moment for you to believe it, for you to see it, okay? So after experiencing that kind of love, that kind of respect, that kind of adoration, I no longer settle for less. And the story that I told you guys prior about the guy telling me that, and I was repeating it to my dad, obviously, the reason I was repeating it was because I got rid of that person. That person did not understand me, did not get me, and didn't care to get me. And I'm okay with that. And it's just funny to me because, again, there are people in this life who do want that kind of woman, and that's a beautiful thing. Go get her. I am not her. I am not going to cater to who you want me to be. I'm going to be me. And you either can accept it or not. And whoever doesn't is not for me. It's also important that you find healthy ways to express yourself so you don't come off bitter and resentful. When you have been told this very cryptic story about yourself your entire life, it's really difficult to not have low self-esteem. It's really difficult to not be jaded. It's really difficult to not have negative thoughts, but it's time to let it go. I want you guys to try to find ways to channel that resentment, channel that bitterness into understanding that those people were threatened by your presence. They were threatened by your life, and it's no longer your story. You cannot harbor a feeling and emotion about yourself that is not true. And I'm here to tell you that if you've been told any of these things about yourself, it is because that person was trying to take away your power. They are afraid that if you see yourself for who you truly are, You will be better than them. You will be greater. You will be able to shine bright, because nobody in this world tries to dim someone's light if they are already lit themselves. It's just not a thing. People don't do it. You need to learn to laugh at those who just don't get it. Start rehearsing in the mirror different responses that you can say to people who are passive aggressive to you or try to dim your light. There are different things you can say, like, you just don't get it, do you? Or giving them literally nothing, giving them no reaction, showing them that they cannot faze you, that they cannot take you off of your pedestal. There's a lot of people that you're going to meet in your life who are going to say very outlandish and weird things to you in hopes that it will attack your own inner feelings, that it will be able to attack your own integrity and the way that you hold yourself. They want you to start being more stifled and insecure. People prefer insecure, stifled people around them, especially if they are insecure themselves. A lot of people are wearing masks. A lot of people are faking life. And if you are showing up proudly and authentically as yourself, and you are someone who speaks up when you want to, you have strong boundaries, you're loud, you're boisterous, you're flirty, you're fun, you are your full self, it's going to make people that are like that feel insecure and that they cannot fully accept you because they can't fully accept themselves for who they actually are. Again, projection, right? So like I said, rehearse lines in the mirror that you can say to these people, like, you just don't get it, or that was a little nasty nice, don't go there. Try to find different ways to really just nip it in the butt, and giving them really nothing is important. Stay a mystery to these people. I'm not saying to be like a secretive person, but don't let these people penetrate your aura and into your energetic field. They don't deserve access to your thoughts, feelings, and emotions, because the truth is they're trying to dim it while also still trying to be a part of it. Can't have both. You either are going to be a part of it and accept it, or you're going to be out of it. It's one of the two. So that's really how I am with certain things. And it's important that you do this to spare your own feelings, okay? Well, you already know you're different. You already know you're too much. So why are you hurting your own feelings by allowing them to hurt your feelings? Just stop. And honestly, you're going to have your feelings hurt if you're always arguing, if you're always trying to say the last word and always trying to say something profound. Yes, as a woman who loves to use my words, I had to learn to nip it in the bud. Certain people are not worth arguing with, and certain people will just never get it. So like I said before, laugh and go, you just don't get it, do you? And walk away, okay? Then you need to ask yourself, does this person have something that I want? Is their life anywhere near the potential that I can touch? A lot of people who are trying to stifle you in life do not even have the life that you'd want. You don't even want to trade places with these people, so who gives a fuck what they think of you? Respectfully to everyone who's ever tried to dim my light, they are not living a better life than me. Not even close. And it's so funny to me how they have so much to say when they should really be going to work. They really should be working on themselves, because their life is a joke. And it's actually scary. It's scary how bold some people are when they really have nothing going for them other than hate and spewing it at people. So again, ask yourself, does this person have something that I want? Because usually, and I can almost say this with the most factual tone, when somebody is happy in their own life, they really don't care about other people's lives. They just don't. So even if they don't agree with someone's life, they just don't care enough to speak on it. They don't care enough to put energy into it. They are too busy living their good lives. And as someone who thinks about myself a lot, and I am very self-focused, it is very rare you're going to see someone else occupying my mind. You also need to learn how to artistically channel your emotions. I make art through my limerence. So essentially, let's just say I'm going through heartbreak or deep emotion or anger or something in my life, something that is going to take up and occupy a lot of space in my heart. I make art. As a person who is too much, who is the black sheep, who's different, I use it to my advantage and I benefit from it. Knowing that I'm artistic, knowing that I'm creative, and that usually is the reason for me being different, I channel it that way. And I talked about this a little bit on my podcast. If you're not subscribed to that, it's on Spotify and on Apple. It's called the Hail Yes podcast. And I discuss how making art through my limerence has actually made me successful. I don't believe that I would be the woman I am today and as successful as I am and make as much money as I do if I didn't channel my art in the way that I have. Every time I'm angry, sad, heartbroken, in love, excited, I make art. I get creative. And I really have seen it work out for me. It's when I'm the least passionate and the least driven that my art just doesn't perform well. And that is something that I've learned. So again, I use my emotions and my deep passion to my advantage and it makes me a lot of money. So start doing that as well. I am able to create beauty from my pain. Many people choose to sulk and sit in their shit, to each their own, but that is not for me. And I really don't want it to be for you either. If you are constantly being told you're too much, you know, you love Harry Potter, you read a lot, you make pretty art, you're different from, you know, your girly girl sisters, and you're maybe more of a tomboy, or you're more this, you're more, whatever it is that you are, create more of it, do more of it, be more of it, be too much, be overly too much, because that is what's going to get you to where you need to be in life. Not only will it get you paid, but it will get you feeling more mentally stable and more emotionally sound. Find healthy ways to channel your anger. You're different, you're intense, you're passionate. Use it. Use it to your advantage. And I promise you, you're going to see everything in your life come together. I really hope that this video resonated with somebody today, and that you no longer allow your bullies, your family, your friends, your partner to make you feel like you have to be a version of yourself that is not really you. It's a shell of you. It's the lesser version of you, because you feel like if you were who you wanted to be, nobody would accept it. I promise you, you will find your tribe, and you will find the people who genuinely love you for who you are. And why would you want to be around people who make you feel that way anyways? I hope that you guys enjoyed today's video as much as I enjoyed making it. If you guys have any more topics you want me to touch on, please leave them down below in the comment section. I would love to see what you guys have for me. And yeah, I love you guys so much, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye everyone. Mwah.